Y'all riding with me through the storm. Every view, every ear, every prayer, we ain't standing alone no more. From the ashes we rose with a Bible in hand. Truth in the dirt, still we taking a stand. Y'all tuned in while the world turned away, but God ain't done, he's still making the way. For the lost, for the broken, for the ones who believe. We riding together, outlaw misfits never leave. Raise your hands if you still got faith. Shout amen if you walk through flames. We're outlaw misfits, breaking chains in the light. Truth on our lips and we ready to fight. I ain't no polished preacher, I'm a scarred up man, but y'all stood beside me when the fire hit the land. Every view, every share, it's a spark in the dark, like thunder in the night, putting truth in your heart. And this is Broken Roots, where the outlaw rides. Faith and fire mix, and the spirit never hides. For the lost, for the broken, for the ones who believe. We riding together, outlaw misfits never leave. Raise your hands if you still got faith. Shout amen if you walk through flames. We're outlaw misfits, breaking chains in the light. Truth on our lips and we ready to fight. Storm clouds roll, but the fire don't fade. We're the rebels in the night that the Lord has made. Thank y'all for the love, for the fight, for the stand.
What's up, Billy?
Together with God, we gon' heal this land. Raise your hands if you still got faith. Shout amen if you walk through flames. We're outlaw misfits, breaking chains in the light. Truth on our lips and we ready to fight. To every soul who pressed play, you proof God's not done with us yet. Keep riding, keep fighting.
We're going to cover it, you know, in excitement. Waiting on a few to get here. That's why I'm just fellowshipping for now. Waiting on a few to get here. Excited about tonight. You know, I normally do a compilation of you guys' videos, but tonight I picked them. I hope they're pretty relevant to what's going on. You know, Jesus himself said in Matthew 24:15, he says, "Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of in Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him who is on the housetop not go down to take anything out of his house." That means that you're not going to have time to even go back and get anything out of your house. You know, it won't be time for that. "And let him who is in the field not go back and get his clothes. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. And pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For then there will be great tribulation, such as not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be." It's going to be crazy. Yeah, they'll be here shortly. You know, we got some getting off work just about now. And they'll see me on just a second. "And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened." And see, we've explained the elect in last week's. See, because you'll be walking among them, not even phased, but at some point he's going to have to put a stop to it, because it no longer will be able to protect the elect because of how bad it's going to be. So he shortened those days for the elect's sake. "Then if anyone says to you, 'Look, here is the Christ,' or 'there,' do not believe it. And we do have that going on. Right now they're saying in Israel that the Christ is there. In Islam, the Mahdi is there. Somebody claiming to be the Mahdi, which is their savior or whatever. Then if anyone says to you, look here, there's the Christ, do not believe it, for false Christ and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, it's not possible, but if it were possible, they would even deceive the elect. See, I have told you beforehand. Therefore, if they say to you, look, he is in the desert, do not go out. Or look, he is in the inner rooms, do not go out, or do not believe it. Do not believe it. If they say he's on TV, do not believe it. You will know when he's here. You will know. There will be nothing stopping you from knowing. For as the light comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will be the coming of the Son of Man. B. For wherever the carcass is, the eagles will be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light and the stars will fall from heaven. And the powers of heaven will be shaken. Then the sign of the sun will appear in the heaven, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels, great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds and from the ends of heaven to the other. Now learn this parable. Learn the parable of the fig tree. But as you can see, there will be trouble as not and never has been before. Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but in the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places. And all these are the beginnings of sorrows. Then they will be delivered you up to the tribulation, and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Then many false prophets will arise and deceive many. And because lawlessness will be abound, the love of many will grow cold. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to the nations, and then the end will come. Well, I tell you, all the nations are being preached this gospel now. All the nations. We have satellite. Even in the hidden depths of North Korea, they received the gospel, but they're much more. They have to be much more careful with it than we do, because they will be persecuted and killed immediately. Amen. Uh-oh. Get back in here. Well, we've got 4 right now. We're waiting on a few. Hopefully they got the message. I put this out early that I was going to be on at 6. You know, we're waiting on Jason Kern and several others. You know, Billy's in the background on here somewhere. Yeah, I see you. There's Joey. There's Joey. What's up, Joey? You don't see Leah? Or you don't see Leah on the screen there. Should see. There we are. There we are. Yeah. We're just waiting on a few. Sometimes it's a little slow. It is Monday. It is Monday. We're expecting, it'll fill up here in a second. It will fill up here in a second. You know, Melissa will be here, different ones. Yep, Billy's on here. Billy is on here for sure. So, yeah. Send a few out. Tell everybody I'm on. Send a few out. I have got quite a compilation of different things to look at tonight. The world is acting crazy, guys. You know, my point reading Matthew 24:15 just now is that, look, you will see these things coming, wars, rumors of wars, and famines, and earthquakes, and pestilence. But the end is yet to come. But the thing is that we've been seeing these for years. It is increasing. The difference is it's increasing. But we're headed up on the Great Tribulation, guys. It's what we expect. What's up, Sophia? Hope your dad is okay. Yeah, we prayed for him. Prayed for him for sure. Prayed for Leah's heat to come down. Pray for everybody on here for sure. We're just waiting on everybody to line up to get here. We know Jason Kern, he's probably getting off work about now. Jason Kern, maybe Brian Simon, Becky, Deborah. All the good ones. All right. Let's see. Catherine will be here. You know that. Just had to, some of you had to send a little alert message to them. Right. Guitarster will be here. I just got off the phone with him. I know he'll be here. I know he'll be here. But yeah, so I guess I'll just get started with it, and the others will get here when they do. I usually do a little 5 or 10 minute fellowshipping and get together, talk about a few things. I went on and read out of what Jesus had to say about the last days. But yeah, we'll go on and dive right in. As you know, we got a planetary alignment coming up here on August the 12th, and a lot of things have been said about it. We've had everything from losing gravity on that day to 3 days of darkness. Don't know how much I don't know that much about 3 days of darkness, other than it has been said for years, by the Catholic Church. I don't have that much in my Bible about it. Haven't read anything in the Apocrypha about it. But I would have to say that they're able to look at things that we aren't able to, because they went around, not Catholics necessarily, but Catholic Church went around and destroyed a lot of writings over the years for whatever reason, for control or whatever it is they did it for. Brian Simon is here. Hey, man, see, I told you we might get Brian Simon, didn't I? Didn't I? Just felt it. I just felt it. Guys, I'm talking about what Jesus had to say about the last days, and what we're looking at here. He didn't say he said that you'll see this and that and this and that. But it's not till you see all these things start to come together as almost like one thing. And that's what it seems like anymore. It seems like it's all one thing. It's not separate things. It's all becoming one thing. Oh, but we're even seeing supposedly the Messiah, the Judean, the Jude, over there in that other country that I can't mention. They've got their Messiah supposedly. I don't know how true that is, but somebody sent me a video on it. I'm going to review it, maybe show it Wednesday. But I know that in Islam, they're supposed to have had the Mahdi. I know if you guys haven't seen this guy, you haven't missed much, but he claims to be connected to all religions, but I haven't seen him grow and like a lot of people watching him yet or paying attention to it, but it is something to watch. Today we had some things go on. I'll go ahead and get into it, but the convergence of these things are what we're looking for. But right now, I'm going to show you this. I love this girl and everything she has to say because she says a lot of relevant things, guys. But I'm going to pull her up. Here we go. We'll go ahead and get started. Brian, it is good to see you, buddy. Oh, guys, I can't do jam night anymore. Guys, I'm going to get kicked off of YouTube if I keep doing it. They booted me twice Saturday night. I'm not talking about warnings. I'm talking about they just booted me. It's getting worse and worse. So we're going to come up with something for Saturday night, whether it be just preaching or teaching or talking and fellowshipping as well. A little more of that. They are. They've got, look, guys, right now there's a lot of they're calling them socialists, but let's just be for real. They're not, like the mayor of New York. The guy's pushing Islam. So, what do you know? Next thing you know, they just take over all the government stuff and become, turn it into Sharia law. That's where it's headed, is Sharia law. That's where it's headed. And, I don't know what to do about it. Because, I vote conservatively. I have. And every time they get it, they don't do anything. Every time you give it to conservatives, they do nothing but fight. They do infighting and they get nothing done. Presidential, signing presidential, orders or whatever, those can be flipped by the next president. They're not any good. It doesn't go through a law process. Bibles, and I've got this huge. It doesn't go through a process and go through the Congress. So all it is the next president gets over there and flips them all over like Joe Biden did with Trump. And then Trump did with Joe Biden. And the next guy with the Trump. But I don't really feel like there's going to be a next guy. I feel like Trump is the last president. That's my thoughts on that. God's kids, see, they just come in slowly, guys, but they're coming. That's why I haven't super gotten started yet. I haven't superly gotten started yet. And, Kern will be right behind them. He's coming. He don't miss one. Where's Melissa? Melissa was moving. So, and you guys have sent me a lot of videos. I'll review them and do them on Wednesday. But I figured you'd enjoy watching some that I picked out tonight. I'm disgusted with voting too, Brian. I really am. I'm disgusted with it, bro. Everybody I've ever voted in didn't do worth a crap. And, sit here thinking that they were going to do what they said they were going to do is just a lie. It's just a lie. Here we are in a new war. That doesn't is not going to fix anything. If anything, it's going to make it worse. We know that. Look, you can't. What are they doing now? Oh, we're going to wait for them to be economically hurt. Wait a minute. Iran doesn't get economically hurt. Do you understand that? Them people are used to having nothing. Nothing is what they get. They're just used to it. So economically, you can't hurt them. And obviously, bombing the hell out of them doesn't hurt them because they still have control of the Hormuz Strait. As long as they have control of the Hormuz Strait, what do we have? We have an oil problem and we have a fertilizer problem. And the fertilizer problem is the one they don't talk about. You know, we got a lot of sleazy things going on in this country as far as, you know, and what it is that when somebody, a woman gave $2 billion to Trump's campaign. $2 billion. So that they would have an endless amount of money for whatever. Well, guess what? Somebody gives you $2 billion, you have to do what they say. And that's what's happening. He's doing what they say because they control him. If you give $2 billion, that's what it is. They tied all his money up in litigation before he got into office. Remember, he had to borrow $175 million to bond out of jail. Remember that? He had to borrow it. Now, a billionaire had to borrow it. You know, it tells you a lot. It tells you that, well, they drained him. They tried to drain him. They tried to hurt him. And now he's controlled. He has all of them in his ear. Who's in his ear? The people that paid to be in his ear, guys. He didn't have that the first time around. He won off little or nothing. This time around, it took lots of money. PR stunts and, you know, it took a lot more to get it. You know, if you're going to have more money than the Democrats have in an election year, you know, you're going to have to deal with donors. And donors control. It's nothing but lobbyists. They're nothing but lobbyists. Yeah, that's what I want. I need to borrow. I want to borrow a couple hundred. How about that? Can I be 100 there? I'd like to be 100 there because this millionaire thing isn't working out for me too well. I went to counting and I don't even have I can't even come up with a million pennies. What is a million pennies? Like $20? Yeah, I was thinking about that, Joey. Me and Rachel talked about that. We thought about doing a trivia night where we just get together in fellowship and ask a question here or there and see if everybody can answer it. You know, what do you think about that? I don't want to take away from the fellowship part because they can't stop us from fellowshipping. They're stopping us from worshiping. You know, and a family that doesn't fellowship together usually doesn't stay together. You know, it's like a family that doesn't eat together, doesn't stay together, or doesn't pray together, doesn't stay together. But I figure we'll just have a strong prayer night, fellowship, and do some trivia. How about that? I don't want it to be about numbers on that night. I just want us to get together and have some fun, you know? And that's what we do, you know? We'll worship Jesus in our own way. Well, maybe we'll just do that. We'll come up with a trivia night. And we'll try to come up with a prize maybe. I don't have enough for prizes, but you know, maybe a prize. You know, something like that, guys. I'll take a vote on it. You know, if you guys are good for it, I'm good for it. So we'll change it up, and so we quit getting kicked off on Saturday night. But you know, I don't know how long normally we play music for 3 hours. You know, can we be able to play trivia for 3 hours? I don't know. You know, we'll try to keep it going for as long as possible, right? But we'll do it like a trivia and call-in night. So you're welcome to call in, talk about whatever. trivia it out together, maybe tell some jokes. Do what Jesus would expect us to do, to get together and pray, tell jokes, worship, do it all. But and we might could sneak an AI song in here and there. They've got some good ones, but I just don't like them all because they all kind of sound the same. You know, kind of westernish. I don't know. They start out talking. Joey's pointed it out. That all them Jelly Roll songs, they all sound the same. However, we'll play a few maybe that night. Try to get away with not. We're not going to try to get away with copyrighted songs anymore. We're taking a chance on the ministry, guys. Do you don't want to do that? I thought I might be kicked off this week. I'm very highly happy that we made it through it because we're online right now. But it's definitely not worth losing it. That's right. That's what I'm saying, guys. We'll just kind of mix it up, see if we can find a different way to do it and not get in trouble. We can't help it, guys. I can't believe they would stop you from worshiping because here's the deal. Yes, the songs are copyrighted, but they don't strike against me. So the songwriter or the person that has it copyrighted doesn't care that we worship to it. But they're not good enough to not copy. Well, I guess they have to copyright it so that somebody else doesn't. But they shouldn't have a problem with getting together playing worship music. It's not hurting anybody. But they do because it doesn't with Satan's agenda. You know what I mean? It doesn't mesh well. Listen, it won't be long before none of us will be online anymore. I'm talking about the people who preach or teach and do all these things. They will not be online. That we've got Project Genesis coming up December 17th. Supposedly, they're going to kick us all offline. Anybody who does any kind of preaching or teaching or religious based, content will be no longer online. Well, we'll see if that comes. I've heard about it. I don't know if you guys have, but it seems legit. It seems like they're being for real. So until then, we've got to find a way to slide under the radar. And look, guys, previous to the problem with JW on here, I don't know if y'all remember that guy. His name was Jason. We didn't get copyright problems. We were able to play as much music as we wanted to, and we had a blast on here. Next thing you know, we started getting turned in. Because the creepy thing about doing this online stuff is that you get arch nemesis on here. You get people that make it their life to come against you, to make it hard on you. You get bad characters on here. You got to watch out doing this online stuff. I've had a lot of people tell me, don't put your number, don't put your address out there. My thing is that if they gonna come here, they gonna get every bit of what they wanted and some more. So, but yeah, you get creepy people on here. That Jason Wallace thing was quite a nasty thing on here. Everybody that I've had to deal with that does that has caused our channel to, stop moving. It's not look, the algorithm got killed when we talked about a certain computer program. It's a true thing. I'm going to show you that tonight. But here we go. Let's
listen up.
I'm going to go ahead and get started.
Listen up. Let's talk about August 12th.
I'm going to talk about this planetary alignment coming up. It is a real thing. It's not tonight, but not tomorrow night, but the next night. It's right before sun up. We are going to have a lot going on, guys. Too much to say it's coincidence. Hello, Catherine. Here we go, guys. I'm going to get started. I'll play a few. I'll play a couple. We'll talk about them, and then we'll go to the next ones. That's right. Come, Jesus, come. Do not delay. Do not delay this time. All right, here we go. Here we go.
So there will be a total solar eclipse on August the 12th. And this is turning into be one of the most mind-blowing celestial events to ever happen. And I'm going to tell you why. This is not just a normal eclipse, because it's aligning with so many other celestial events that it's almost mathematically impossible. The path of totality for this solar eclipse is going to be in Iceland and in Spain. And we also know how the elite love these kind of events. So I doubt they're going to let this opportunity to do something pass them by. So total solar eclipses happen every 18 months somewhere on the Earth. And for the moon shadow to hit one local spot happens only every 400 years. This is the first total solar eclipse since 1909 for Spain. Now when you combine all the celestial events that are about to take place, this would only happen every 140,000 years probably.
140,000 years?
The final day of the Lion's Gate portal in spiritual and astrological traditions, the Lion's Gate window closes every year on August the 12th. Having a total solar eclipse which requires a new moon perfectly aligning with the sun land precisely on the final day of this Leo window is incredibly rare. And as the sky plunges into daytime darkness, the sun's blinding light will vanish, instantly revealing Regulus, the radiant heart of the Lion Star, shining brightly directly next to the blacked out sun. At the same time, the peak of the Perseid meteor shower is the ultimate cosmic bonus. August the 12th is the absolute peak night of the Perseids, one of the most brilliant meteor showers of the year. Because a solar eclipse can only happen during a new moon, the night sky will be 100% dark, completely free of moonlight. Once twilight fades after the eclipse, people will get flawless, pitch black skies to watch up to 100 shooting stars per hour. Rare twilight sunset eclipse in Spain, totality will hit exceptionally low on the western horizon right before sunset. Instead of happening high in the midday sky, the blacked out sun and its glowing white corona will melt directly into the horizon. We are living through a literal blip in cosmic history. We will never see an alignment like this again in our lifetime. Listen up.
Well, that is quite an alignment for it to be. Look, the Lions Gate happens every year on August 12th. The Lions Gate. Before all that to land on the Lions Gate is, and for it to be more than one thing. You've got the Lions Gate closing. It reaches peak on the 8th and it closes on the 12th. Okay, then what? Then you've got this solar eclipse. Well, you know how rare it would be for not only for a solar eclipse to be on that date of the Lion's Gate, but she went on to explain how rare it is, how hard it is for it to get a new moon on that date. On that date, a new moon has to be for there to be a solar eclipse. Then you have the planetary alignment along with 100 asteroids per hour. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot going on. If you ask me, immediately the sun was darkened in those days. The moon did not give off its light, and the stars in heaven fell from the sky. Huh? Sounds a lot like that, doesn't it? Sounds a lot like that. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then you got a lot being said about that date. They've been saying it for a couple years now that I know of, talking about August 12th of 2026, that we were going to lose gravity for 7 seconds. Well, I'm not saying that we will. I think they debunk it a lot, but they debunk a lot of things. But 7 seconds with no gravity would be quite devastating. I think a lot of people would die to that. But hey, it could be a hoax. Then there's the lady that talks about the 3 days of darkness is saying that that's coming up on this date. Do you know what I'm talking about? That white-headed lady that who she usually reads off a notebook, calls for the 3 days of darkness. She never says when it's going to be. Well, she's talking about it being, on this date. Now, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about the 3 days of darkness. I don't read it in my Bible. But like I said, the Catholic Church comes up with that. So, yeah, it's definitely a high watch season. There's a lot. Look, if we're not watching, we are watchers. I'm a watcher. We sound the alarm. Sometimes, most time we're not right, but we sound the alarm. Why? Because we're watching. It's a lot to try to depict what God's doing. You want to try it? Not a whole lot of people have time to, a whole lot of time in their life to, they keep it busy with other things. Well, some of us keep it clear so we can watch. Well, they're supposed to be watchers. What do? We sound the alarm for them. What do? They complain, but they don't watch for anything. So they shouldn't complain at the people that are watching. 9 times out of 10, we're going to be wrong. It's the way it is. But when we see a convergence of things coming together, we say, hey, tugging on your shoulder. Hey, it looks like something may happen. We got some weird dates, some weird things happening. Let's take a look. Oh, you're going to be wrong. Well, maybe I will be. But there's going to be that one time I'm not. Okay? That's what some of them say afterwards. Some of them say during it. I don't really understand it. I know that Rachel's had dreams about creatures that didn't make no sense that they talk about. I've actually seen movies depicting this, where there's outside family members. They say family members will sound like family members are out there calling your name. What's up, Guitarster? I don't know, man. I don't know enough about it. I just know what I've heard other people talk about it. I don't know how much truth there is to it. But guys, we had some things go on today. We had something strong happen today. And we're going to take a look at it. Some of you guys may have heard about it, but we got this guy who, whether you like him or not, he's a good geophysicist, and he called for this a few days ago, and it happened. So let's listen to him for a second, see what he has to say.
Stefan Burns here with unfortunate breaking news. A gigantic magnitude 7.4 earthquake has struck Colombia, causing widespread damage, destruction, fatalities, and more. Tons of videos have started to roll in from Colombia. It struck
that was
early
today.
In the morning, just shortly after sunrise, and maybe a couple hours after sunrise. And this is not good. This is really not good. This was also forecasted by me to have a much higher likelihood of occurring because of the magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 earthquake doublet that struck about 6 weeks ago.
Do you guys hear this? It's not, every day we're having a 7.3, 7.4, 7.8, 8.1. That's not what we used to have. We used to have 3, 2s, and 4s and stuff like that. Not nothing to little, but insignificant. Everything we're having is significant. Every day it's a 7 point something. That destroys buildings, kills people. It's not that you find 10 people got hurt. It's thousands of people got hurt. Their buildings, our buildings aren't great, but their buildings definitely can't sustain that. They build building on top of building. We need to pray for those people over there in Colombia. I don't care how you feel about it. They need it. They need our prayer. I think Sophia has family over there, don't you, Sophia?
As you may recall, there's also been this magnitude 7.3 here that struck Mexico shortly after that in July. So we've had four if you include those separately, but 3 zones of huge magnitude 7 earthquake activity around the Caribbean plate just in the past 6 weeks. And it takes a little bit of time for that energy and resonance to build up. But if it's a 7.4 like this one is, or just a high magnitude 7 or even greater, like people have gone through magnitude 8s and 9s, right? The shaking is so tense, it can be difficult to walk. It's like, I mean, I haven't lived through a magnitude 7, but it can be difficult to walk even with like a magnitude 5.5, magnitude 6. So yeah, maybe you're in that building and you're trying to get out and you're as soon as possible and or find cover. So you'll see this gentleman who is recording this video. Eventually he drops down underneath the tables and the chairs and really great.
I want you to see this church.
And may the death toll from this just be as absolutely low as possible. Amen. We are still finding out what's happening. So we really don't know the full extent, but clearly it's...
Anyway, as you can see, the earthquake was horrible. We need to pray for those people over in Colombia. I will say a prayer before we get off here for them, you know? Sometimes when we think we got it bad, guys, we can look and we see that others have it worse. Things are going on, but we're not out of that. Look, the sun is increasingly getting hot. It's throwing off flares. Those flares have everything. This dude has done proved it that he's the only one saying it. He's the only one talking about the connections. And he's right. He's able to look at the sun and predict what's going to happen in earthquake-wise. And he's pretty accurate. Accurate enough to become really big on YouTube. Okay, way more accurate than Brandon Biggs. He's been way more accurate. And all he has to do is look at the sun and see the flares. And he'll tell you, watching the earth and how it's reacting, where the next earthquake's going to be. And what it's going to be. What size it's going to be. You'll know because he gets on there and he says, boom, shakalaka. And you know that he got it right. You know? You guys follow me pretty good on here? All right, so next up. It's going down as we speak. Yes, it is. It is. And then what else we got looming in the background? I mean, guys, it's not just any one thing. This all seems to be one thing.
New large fires in a single day, and the I-5 freeway through California is shut down right now. 95 large fires are burning uncontained across the United States as of this morning, August 7th. That number was 86 yesterday. 9 more large fires became uncontained in the last 24 hours. Oregon just invoked its Emergency Conflagration Act, the highest wildfire emergency declaration a state can make. And here is the number that should stop you cold. Nearly 50,000 new acres burned across the United States in a single day, per the IMSR. 5.6 million acres burned year to date, running at 144% of the 10-year average. All data in this video comes directly from the NFC IMSR, INCIWeb, and official incident reports, verified source, no guessing. This is an action-packed and genuinely historic fire weather situation across the American West. Let's get right into it. We are going to go south to north and west.
As you can see, 50,000 acres. 50,000 acres in one day. What's up, Patty? What's up, Patty? Look, you and Scott, different ones, have sent me some awesome videos this week. And Wednesday, we're going to delve off into your videos. I'm getting them together now, watching them, you know. You know, I like to show you guys videos tonight. I picked my own videos because we're talking about world events and things going on. And I just want to kind of show you the convergence of all things. Now, at the beginning of this live stream, I read Matthew 24:15 on. You know, about how Jesus said it was going to be. Now I'm showing you the convergence of these things. They're all in this book in Matthew. All the things I'm showing you are in Matthew. So it's like he gave us the roadmap, and here it is. We're just looking at how it's going. We're looking out the looking glass of what's going on in the world. Thank God all of you are safe. Thank God that in your area it's not like that. You know, I was talking to Scott earlier. They're under a curfew. Things are so bad around where he lives that they're at a curfew. They can't come out between 10 or 12 at night and 6 in the morning. And you know as well as I do, nothing goes on good around then. But, you know, some people have to get to work. Some people have things they need to do. You know, some people aren't up to bad business. But, you know, unfortunately, it's the world we live in now. It's the world we live in now. Yeah, all the signs are here. And so far, I've showed you 2 signs, right? 3 signs. 1, the planetary alignment. What does he say in this chapter? He says there'll be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars in the heavens. He said there'll be fires and famines and earthquakes and pestilence. That's what we're going over right now. That's what we're going over right now. As you see these things, you should be excited. We're not looking at these things in fear, but in excitement, because we know that time is close. We are protected. We are the elect, and we are protected. But he has to shorten these days because he couldn't even protect us if it kept going. He wouldn't be able to protect us if it kept going. So let's keep going now. We've done wildfires. We've done earthquake that happened today. These wildfires are going on today too. Just because they're not going on in your area. Then the alignment. Look, we've not just got an alignment. We've got 100 asteroids a minute, and a big solar eclipse, which means there has to be a new moon for this solar eclipse to happen. So it's like 4 things happening there. You know, I find it highly fascinating and exciting that we're able to. I can't believe this much time's went by so far. So, all right. I don't even know what the next one is. We're going to take a look at it. Has everything to do with what we're talking about.
Well, you're going to want to check.
I think this is going to cover 2 things.
Well, you're going to want to check your fridge this morning. Taylor Farms is recalling all of its products containing jalapeno peppers from store shelves.
This is yet another outbreak associated with this company. The jalapeno peppers were used in about 20 food products, ranging from dips to salsas to guacamole. They've been associated with a salmonella outbreak, which has reportedly made 350 people sick in 27 states. The products were sold in several stores, including Walmart, Target, and Trader Joe's. You were asked to throw those products out.
Let's talk about the war in Iran. President Trump's Iran strategy may be shifting now as he waits for economic pressure to take its toll.
Iran, though, holding firm when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz. Doug Lazater joining us live from Washington with the very latest, getting us here caught up from the weekend. Doug, we're learning that Israel has rejected a deal announced by President Trump to end conflict in Gaza. Walk us through what that plan was and now what it means going forward. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a multi-point plan that that was put forward that involves Hamas disarming. Israel didn't feel as though there was enough progress in that regard for them to begin pulling forces out. So it's not clear how that's going to get resolved moving forward here.
Also, Doug,
all right. So, not only do we have a recall on salmonella outbreak on a number of things going across the U.S., I've heard everything from lettuce to peppers to berries to anything that you can think of. Are they trying to scare us of the vegetables? Are they doing things to the vegetables? You know, I don't know. I don't know. But I know that it's been a lot here lately. Thank you, sweetheart. It's been a lot here lately. And, you know, I hope that guys be careful. Don't be, you know, throw out them. I would say throw out any of your store-bought vegetables right now that you've bought. Go ahead and throw them out. You know, don't take that chance. You do not want this. You don't want salmonella. And not to mention, there's whatever that diarrhea outbreak was. It's not stopping. Do you notice it's just nonstop? Nonstop. Has you scared to go buy anything. As soon as you get home, you find out that it's got something wrong with it. Bacon. Bacon as well. Look, they're even talking about eggs. I'm glad I get my eggs fresh. They can't say it's salmonella at my house, not with no eggs. But, you know, I would say if you can get you some chickens. It doesn't hurt. It's not just about them, how much they cost. It's about your health. You know, it's better to be safe, you know. Better to be safe. Better to be safe than sorry. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about, guys.
2 American cities.
Listen, when I used to watch movies about when I was a kid, you know, them old school movies, they'd show us, you know, we'd come to church and they would sit down and show it to us in a group. And one of the biggest things that was as how hot it was, you know, there's going to be something to put boils on people. Well, they're talking about this is the hottest summer on record. And they've been saying that for a minute, but this is the hottest summer on record. I got a feeling next summer they'll be talking about that's the hottest summer on record. I don't feel like we're going to get normal seasons. You know, it's going to be extreme either way. Extreme either way. You know. But let's take a look. Let's take a look. And we'll pause a second after this and discuss some of the things that we've looked at. Let you guys talk. I like to see what you got to say about it. If you got nothing to say about it, we'll just move on. But
these are about to break temperature records that have stood for their entire recorded history. Salt Lake City could hit 107 degrees today. Billings, Montana, could reach 108. And here is the part almost no one is talking about. This is not the peak of the emergency. It is only the beginning. A single dome of high pressure is baking the west right now, and an even larger one is forecast to lock in behind it. Here's what is coming, and why it only gets worse from here. Right now, a single dome of high pressure is sitting on top of the western and north-central United States, and it is not moving. It is the reason several major American cities are today on the edge of their all-time temperature records. Not their daily records, their all-time records. The hottest readings ever measured at those stations in any month of any year. And the feature driving it is an upper-level ridge with 500 millibar heights, above 594 decameters. If that number means nothing to you, here is what it means in practice. It is one of the strongest, most stubborn high-pressure configurations the atmosphere can build, and it has effectively slammed a lid over the Intermountain West and the Northern Plains. The National Weather Service's Weather Prediction Center has flagged what it calls major to extreme heat risk conditions, and those conditions are expected to persist into late this coming week. Forecast confidence is high. This is not a maybe. This is happening today, and the peak is today.
You know what I don't like about it? Every model that I see on that, it doesn't put me out of it. I mean, we look like we're in the worst part of it, you know? But, you know, the thing is about a heat dome is that today it's hot and it doesn't go away. So tomorrow is hotter and the next day's a little bit hotter because it's like a pressure cooker. It stays over the top of you and it doesn't go away. So it gets hotter and hotter. It's not moving. The wind factor has slowed down and it's just staying over the top and building heat like a big bubble. A big bubble. And, you know, if it says it's 105 here, well, you can bet it feels like 115. You know, and what it feels like is what it is here, is what it feels like. You know, you go to touch a door handle and you burn your hand. Sit in a chair and you burn yourself. Now you think about the people that are taking their dogs for a walk on a sidewalk that you can fry an egg on. The little dog don't know it. Little dog gets out there. You don't know the little dog's cooking. What do you think? I mean, that's a lot going on. So now we've looked at a planetary alignment, an earthquake that happened today, fires that are happening today, a heat wave that's happening today. Okay? So everything's relevant. Everything I'm showing you is relevant. And it's all talked about in Matthew 24. It's all talked about. Every one of these issues. Leo would say, this heat is so bad it makes me sick. It does. Look, it's so hot here. It's so hot here that you walk halfway to the mailbox and you got to change clothes. That's how hot it is here. And we've got trees, but you still can't breathe. It's hard to breathe through it. You know, and Scott's 60 and he's over there in a shop working and burning up. You know, I feel for him, really do. The older we get, the harder it is on us, the harder it is on us. And I would have to say it doesn't just even have anything to do with it. Just older we get, it is getting harder on us. It is harder to deal. The heat is getting worse. It wasn't like this when I was a kid. It wasn't like this. Wasn't like this through. I mean, we've had some hot days, but not consistently back to back, nonstop. Won't let up. What's up, Kern? What's up? Everybody that's here, everybody that we have here, I just like to say that we're going to start doing jam night differently. We're going to do a trivia night, and we're going to all get together and have fun. We're going to figure something else out. They're not going to stop us from getting together, gathering, but they are putting a stop to us playing copyrighted music. And that's okay. Look, guys, I looked into doing it on a private. They can still boot us off on private, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which way we do it. You can look it up for yourself. Google private playing copyrighted music in a private session, and they still do the same thing. So we're just going to cut it out. We're going to do what we can do until we figure it out, okay? Unfortunately, like if we switch like to Rumble or something like that, Rumble doesn't allow you to do it either. So if we go to like a Zoom session and do it privately or a Telegram, the problem with that is that not everybody will show up because we've got just strictly people that will stay on YouTube and not go any further. So I hate to lose those people to, there's a little bit to it, guys. But I looked into it and no, you can't do it. I could pull it up and show you, but I know you believe me. I know you believe me. But so far we've covered all these things. Honestly, all Christian content is being targeted. Yeah, it is. I'm about to cover that actually. Let me see if I can find what I've got on that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can find that. I actually had it up earlier, and hopefully it's not gone. If so, I can find it again real quick. In fact, I'll do so while you guys are talking. I will go find what I have on that. Let's see. Listen up. I thought I had it up earlier, and they constantly block her content as well. So I think it's going to be on YouTube. So I'm going to go to YouTube and find it. Because I do want you guys to see it. There's no, I definitely, you're right. You're more right than you even know. You're more right than you even know. Wow, I can't even find it now. It was about being shadow banned. So I'll try to find it. I'll go back to her TikTok, see if I can find it. I definitely want you guys to see about it.
Listen up. All right, so I just got banned.
All right, I think this is it, but I'm not sure, but we'll take a look at it anyway and see if it's it. I hate to be looking stuff up while I'm online.
On my backup that I had just made 2 weeks ago. This is my new account. And I went ahead and put the video on that account since it's new so you can watch it, but that's the one that got me banned. I'm not doing anything on this main page because I want to keep my videos up, and it's about to be banned if I do anything they don't like. So go follow me here if you want to see my new videos. Listen up. All right, so I just got banned on my backup that I had just made 2 weeks ago.
They're banning us big time. So, listen up.
Listen up. All right, so before I go to work today, I have to let y'all know something. These 3 accounts right here are the only ones I have. And the only one I am posting on is the top one, which is what I'm on right now. I have become aware that one of these fake accounts are doing lives pretending to be me. And y'all should know by now, I don't do lives. All right, so I'm making another TikTok, and I'm hoping this is my last one. I'm heavily censored on my backup, which is the Listen Up Itty Bitty. And I went and checked my account, and they literally told me they're not pushing any of my videos to the FYP. So unless you go to my page, you cannot see my videos. And the information I am sharing needs to get out. And the thing is when you get banned, you need to delete your app and then re-download it. And I didn't do that this last time, so they know it's my account because it's connected to my other one. My daughter made me this one, so once I log into this one on my phone after deleting the app and re-downloading it, I'm not going to be able to get on my other accounts, or they're going to know it's me. I'm sorry I have to keep on making accounts, but this is what it costs when you speak the truth. It's listenup_itty-bitty. Y'all please go add me so I can push this content out. All right, so I'm making another TikTok.
So I'll go ahead and tell you because I had it up earlier. And obviously I'm not going to be able to show it because for some reason it's not there. But they constantly banned her. They are shadow banning anybody doing religious content, especially talking about the things that we talk about, because anytime you hit on the truth, they are going to start banning you. What happens is they kill your algorithm. So it's not that the people don't want to see you, it's that you don't show up on their feed. When you have to type in JAYPI and nothing comes up, they've shadow banned me. Usually you type in JA if you've looked at my content before, it'll come right up. As soon as you hit JA, the rest of it'll just show up JPIP, right? And then you just click on JPIP. That's because the algorithm's there. But if you type in JAYPI and nothing comes up, all the way to, you have to put my whole name in, it means that you're having to find my account to find me. That I no longer just pop up in people's feeds. They do that when you tell the truth. They don't do that for lies, guys. They do that for telling the truth. You know, that's just the way it is. I'm not going to cool it. We only have a short time here. We have a short time here to do this. A small window, and then it's over. It's not just over for my channel. It's over for everybody's. So I have to like fly under the radar. So maybe cool it by, like saying code words or something. I've tried that. I'm too big of a dummy. I keep doing it. You know what I mean? I've got to learn not to do it. Maybe with you guys' help. You know what I mean? Throw some red lights up there or something, saying, hey, Jay, cool it. You know what I mean? Something. Because sometimes I just forget I say the word, that I word, or I forget about the other, I can't even say it. I feel so held back on here. I feel so held back on here. I go to say words, I can't even say what I want to say. I just gotta, but it's not just me. I watch a lot of these guys going through it, you know? It's encouraging because we know we're on the right. Exactly, Kern. Look, I don't feel bad about it. We know we're on the right path. We know we get shadow banned for a reason, and it's not for lying. You know? What it is I waited till I got 3,000 or so subscribers before I started really laying it down. You know, I was telling the truth the whole time, but really laying it down. You know, saying the things that aren't said. And
Comes after Minnesota reported 30 of its state water systems faced a coordinated cyber attack last week. Now, since then, local authorities in New Jersey, South Dakota, and Georgia have all said they faced similar attacks. Additionally, North Carolina says the port system was also attacked. I want to bring in CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Skanga. Nicole, what are you learning about the hacks today?
Yeah, this is a growing concern, attacks on America's water and wastewater systems. These incidents spreading, as you mentioned, to more states, and CBS News has confirmed that at least a dozen states have been impacted, with officials suggesting that as more and more of these disruptions are discovered, they expect more and more states to come forward. So right now we know about over 30 water utilities in Minnesota, but we also know about a couple of water utilities that have been affected in New Jersey, at least 9 in Michigan, as well as South Dakota and Georgia.
so let's talk about it. When they hack the water, what's happening? What's happening to make it? So they have chemicals that go in the water, you know what I mean, at certain times, you know. It's calculated, it's timed, it's done off timers, it's done off, you know, computer systems and timers, and they control everything by button, you know. And when they hack this system, the chemicals don't go in at the right. You don't do this stuff at exactly the right time, in the right way, in the right manner, it can destroy the water. So what's happening? Look, it's affecting you too, Scott. It's happening in Georgia. You know, it's happening all over the place. Probably a lot that aren't saying it. You know, they probably hadn't reported on everything that's happening yet. But an attack on the water. What did I tell you back when they were going up after Iran over nuclear weapons? That's not Iran's strong suit. You know that, right? I'm sure. Am I still buffering? Let me know. Let me know. Maybe I can refresh something. I don't know. Am I still buffering? Let me know. Am I still buffering, guys? I don't buffer a lot. Power went out last night for a little while. It's kind of freaked me out the way it did it. I heard so is able to change that water settings. Okay, yeah. So yeah, what I was saying is that the water runs off, like, you know, that all runs off of buttons. You know what I mean? They or timers. You know what I mean, for the chemicals to be released in it or whatever. They're hacking something. Something isn't going right. If you're hacking the water systems, it means that they've got a chance of destroying our water. They got a chance of destroying our water. And, you know, that's what I said back when they were talking about going after Iran for nuclear weapons. I'm like, that's not Iran's strong suit. They pay for high-end hackers. They can hack some stuff now. You know, the power went out there last night. At what time, guys? What time did it happen, Patty? I would say this was like between 12 and 1 in the morning. The power just went off, and I was like, oh no, is this it? It came back on a little just right after that. But, you know, every time it does it, I feel like, is this it? You know, it didn't have a real reason to go off. You know, it wasn't like it was windy or raining here or anything, you know, or any kind of bad weather. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. We're getting everything hacked. What do they expect? Hey, you know, and then you've got that. What is it? So somebody leaks out that we don't have enough rockets and weapons right now to fight with Iran. And somebody leaked it from the Pentagon. You know? Yeah, it's you know, I am in a rural area, guys. I am lucky just to have a good enough internet as I do. You know, and then my son fixed my computer, so it seems to be working better. But sometimes we do have those problems, you know, we do. But I hope you guys are listening tonight because some of the trivia may come out of some of the things I talk about throughout the week. So if you don't listen, you might not, might not win that prize, you know. So you gotta listen up, you know. I mean, I need to change my name to Listen Up. So I thought about starting a new channel called the Elijah Project. I don't know. Thought about it. Thought about it. See if we could get some growth out of it. But you know what? It's just it's just so much to even start a channel. You know, start this one was a big deal for me. All right, so let's see what else. I'll quit running my trap so that I can get to all this. All right, so what do we have pestilence-wise? Let's see here. You know Money Banks here. Money Banks likes to tell it like it is. Let's see what Money Banks has to say today.
Explosive diarrhea. So be mindful and be safe. And let me know in the comment section if you experience a cyclospora parasite that's causing explosive diarrhea. Just claimed the lives of 2 people in Michigan. They're saying that the cause of these deaths came from dehydration and previous health complications. And if you don't remember, this parasite is a food-borne parasite that spread through multiple states during July. And if 2 people just passed away, that means this parasite is still alive and well. So these are the foods that they told us in the beginning to stay away from. Any pre-made salad mixes, berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, broccoli. And you know a lot of people love berries, and you know a lot of people eat broccoli. But at this point, we don't know if it's safe to eat these things. They also told us to stay away from fresh herbs, basil, parsley, cilantro. Mind you, they also said that one of the reasons that this parasite spread was because of Taco Bell. So you have to be mindful when you're eating that type of food. They're also saying that you should overcook your meat. Well done meat might be the best meat right now. So for the people that were saying that well done meat ain't good, they're saying that well done meat might be the way to go right now. Also, if you're eating eggs, they're saying that you should make your eggs well done. So that means you need to hard cook your eggs. We were also told that this parasite can last from 2 days to 2 weeks, maybe even a month. And the side effects of this parasite: dehydration, rapid weight loss, stomach pain, and of course, explosive diarrhea. So be mindful and be safe. And let me know in the comment section if you experienced anything.
I mean, we just got through talking about that. You know, right now it's scary to eat. Oh, thank you, Kern. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, bud. In fact, their name goes in another name in the hat. We're giving away a prize right now. I don't have the flashlight out here with me, but I do. It's brand new. It's in the box, so we'll take it out, take a look. These flashlights are very nice. They very strong flashlight. As you can see, it's a heck of a spotlight, and that's not even zoomed in. Look at that. Puts a beam on there. Almost catch fire there. Almost catch fire. But you really can see good. We're giving away this prize this month. At the end of the month, we'll take your name out of the hat. You know, and ever how many times you've done it, it's ever how many names they'll go in there. It's just a little give back, guys. It's not much, but it's, you know, it's something, you know, and it's rechargeable. You don't have to have batteries with this. It's got a clip on the side. You can ask Joey Moe. He has one. It's very nice. and it comes with a little charger cord or whatever. It's good for, hey, 3 days of darkness, you'll have that sword there. That sword of fire. Let me write your name down here, Kern. If I can find a pen, there we go. And we'll do it online, so you'll see there's no favoritism. It's just simply a give back gift, that we could do. Goes in the captain's hat, and we'll pull from that. Thank you. Buffering again? Well, we'll just wait till I'm not buffering. We'll wait till I'm not buffering. I know, Leah. Thank you so much, Leah. You always help out so much. I already know, Leah. I already know your situation. You did all you could last month, for sure. Thank you. And like you guys are what keeps it going. We don't we're paid programming, but we're not paid by outside entities. It's paid by RSA for RSA. And that's the way it goes. So yeah, what were we talking about? We're talking about this explosive diarrhea and things going on. Guys, be careful what you're eating. Okay? Be careful. Bacon, eggs, anything. Look, did you know that you can eat almost anything as long as you cook it all the way through? Don't eat raw meat of any kind. It's, I don't care if it's better, medium rare, all that, guys. I like medium rare meat myself, but I'll tell you this, not these days. Not these days. If something was to go down and you would have to eat rabbit or bear or something of that nature, you know that you can eat it as long as you cook it all the way through. Cook it at a certain temperature. Okay? So if you have to eat wild meat or store-bought meat these days, make sure you cook it all the way through. If you eat eggs, cook it hard. Cook it all the way through. Now, you want to get around that, just get your own chickens. You know where the eggs come from? You can eat them the way you want to eat them. Okay? But just in general, rabies. Rabies is something you get from eating raw rabied meat. If you cook it all the way through, you don't get it. These things, can be simply fixed by cooking food all the way through. And be careful. Right now, I would be eating them store-bought vegetables. Find you a local farm, local, what do you call it? Go to the farm. Go get it yourself. All right? You guys be careful out there, We got to watch out right now. The world's crazy. All right. Let's take a look at some things that men are doing. Here we go. Y'all got any instances where anyone's gotten sick? Speak up. Let me know your thoughts. Here we go.
What Flock Camera is doing now.
No, what's come out?
A lot of cops are resigning or forced to resign because they're speaking out against this Flock camera system.
Good for
Why?
them.
Something that just came out is that Flock cameras, not only do they do facial recognition, but they have this capability now for their AI to instantly link up to your Bluetooth in your car, whether it be your phone or your headphones, and then be able to track you anywhere.
That makes absolutely zero sense. We keep seeing more and more videos of these Flock cameras falsely accusing people who are completely innocent, who have footage of them at other places.
All I'm saying is there's copper in there.
We're not saying go cut these things down.
No,
I'm just talking about the potential shortage of copper.
I heard a lot of people were buying those green laser pointers and it's frying the system. You guys shouldn't do that.
No, of course not. Because that would work. They would stop working if we did that.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal and you should not do that. Did you see what Flock camera is doing now?
No, what's come out?
If you understood that message, basically everybody hates these flock cameras. Not just us, everybody hates them. Okay? You can say, oh, well, I don't do anything wrong, so it doesn't matter. You're thinking very lightly. You're not thinking smart with it. You know? It's not just about that. Does it not creep you out that it can hook to your phone? It can hook to your phone. Your phone has Bluetooth, and it can attach itself to your phone and follow you where you go. That's not, I don't care whether I do anything or not. I don't want it doing that. I don't want no part of that. So, don't be destroying them flock cameras. You know what I mean? Don't be, they have a lot of copper in them. That's what they say. I don't know what it's for, but they say there's a lot of copper in them. Say there's an ounce of gold in each one of them. If you saw where that guy was, the people were accused of destroying a flock camera. Did you see all the people that, like 20,000 people gave them an alibi? Oh, he was at my house. He was at a barbecue over here at my house. 20,000 people gave him an alibi. That's nuts. You believe that? That's how many people hate those things. And if you think it's not for nefarious, look, police officers are getting fired right now and resigning, not just because they are against them, but because they used them to stalk, stalk people that they're, in love with. I mean, stalk family members and people they don't like. Police officers were using them already for nefarious reasons. Just because you don't do anything wrong doesn't mean you don't have somebody that doesn't like you. You know what I mean? They could just want something that you have. They want to know where you're at so they can know you're not at the house while they go to your house and invade it. Think smart. Think smart. Think bigger than just you don't do anything wrong. Okay? Yeah. All they got to do is know where you're at and they can get in your house because they know you're not there. Just saying. Something to think about. What do you guys think, huh? This is a moving live stream where you can see what you guys are saying, and so does the rest of the world that's watching. They can see what you're saying. What's your opinions on that? Do any of you guys like the idea of a flock camera? Well, seems like most of the United States doesn't like it. But steadily, while we're talking, they're putting them at every stoplight, but what's sick is they're putting them out in rural areas, just in places that they got no business being. Out on hikes. The people showed it. They're out on a hike and it's just out in the middle of their trail. Well, sure, they're not going to use it for anything nefarious, right? They've just been caught using them. And I didn't even play that video. I left that one down. I picked between the two, and I chose that one over that because the other one was as all the officers in Savannah, Georgia. It was Savannah, Georgia, Scott. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I didn't save it, so I'm gonna have to find it real quick. Block. Savannah. Savannah, Georgia, or Savannah, Illinois. Okay, listen to this.
6 former Savannah police.
This is the one I was going to show you, but I didn't save it. But now I've got it for you. Check this out. I'm just going to creep you out.
Including 4 officers, are now under criminal investigation after being fired for allegedly misusing these controversial surveillance cameras made by the company Flock.
Totally honest, I'm disappointed. I'm pissed off about it.
The employees allegedly using the system to make personal searches involving family and acquaintances. The high-tech AI-powered cameras read license plates and store that data for police departments to use. over 120,000 deployed nationwide to help fight crime. They're on streetlights, bridges, and highways. But backlash is growing amid rising reports of misuse. Dozens of officers now charged or accused of using the technology inappropriately, including stalking. This North Carolina police officer arrested for allegedly using it to track her boyfriend's ex-wife more than 30 times. She's set to appear in court at the end of the month.
That's what bothers me the most, that the people that use this stuff for personal gain.
Critics also calling these cameras an invasion of privacy. Some are being vandalized in acts of protest.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know, exactly what we're saying is that they're misused. And you think that that's the only misuse? No, no, no. That's just the ones that are being caught doing it to their lovers and their, you know what I mean? And their ex-wives and all that. That's just the ones using it for that. But you can bet they use them to their own advantage. They use them to their own advantage. Look, guys, I'm here to tell you the government will pull some garbage stuff. I'm disabled. What they do, they send an investigator over here who says that he holds up a lineup of people and said that somebody got a job in my name, used my name to get the job, and then they stole a bunch of stuff, and they wanted me to look at a lineup. All the guy was doing was pairing me up to see. I didn't do any work in front of him. I didn't do nothing, but they sent him to my house, and he lied to me and made this fake thing up, and he was just a guy checking out for the disability. Okay? If they'll do that, there's nothing they won't do. In any situation, they will lie. They will, but that's just them. They're getting caught using it against their own family members. If they'll use it against their own family members, they'll use it against you. That's the truth. You know, and that's where we're at with it. That's where we're at with it. So, you know, so far we've covered. Let's go over it. Wildfires, earthquake, what else? Destruction wise. Pestilence. We've discovered, surveillance, attacks on our water, infrastructure, heat dome, as far as weather, temperature event. Now we're getting into a little deeper here. You know, he also said there will be false prophets and people rise in my name. And when you see the abomination of desolation sit where he ought not, talked about in the book of Daniel, let no one go back and grab his cloak. No man out in the field not run back and get his clothes. I mean, there's not time for that. There's not time for that. Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many, and you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet, for nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in various places. All these things are the beginnings of sorrows. So, you know, we're talking about all these things, showing you all these things, all talked about in that book. Let's take a look.
Just to pray for me now. Oh my God, somebody pray for me.
Wait, stop, hold on. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Help me, help us.
If with a few $1 billion, he can feed everybody in this world, why is he not feeding them? We think Elon Musk is altruistic. He wants to put a neural link in your brain so that the blind will see, the deaf will hear, the lame will walk, Jesus level miracles as he calls it. That guy is an epitome of the second beast in the book of Revelation. And the Bible says that he will deceive those that are on the earth. I like to read this because so that people don't think that this is my opinion. Anybody that's believing in Elon Musk needs to go pray and find out what, My question is, Elon Musk has the ability to put low orbit satellites in all nations. Where did he get that permission from?
The right.
Elon Musk is building robots. He's telling us that in this next few years, not long, maybe a year or two, there will be more robots on this earth than human beings. Elon Musk says that we're going to have so much that we're not going to need to work. We'll have about 90% unemployment because robots will do everything from changing diapers to flipping patients in the nursing home to driving cars to everything. And he says we're going to have universal high income. And people are like, wow, that's amazing. I don't have to work. The issue is, how are they going to give you that universal high income? That is the beast system. When the Bible says in Revelation 13 from 16 to 18 that there will come a time when that you're not going to be able to buy or sell without taking a mark on your hand or a neural link in your brain. Listen, Revelation 13, let me read this to you. And everybody, you can pull up your Bible and read this. Revelation 13, you can start from verse 11. He said, I beheld another beast coming out of the earth. Earth is flesh, human. He had 2 horns like a lamb. That means he looks like a good guy. But he spoke like a dragon. Elon Musk looks like a good guy. Like, oh, he's always dancing and laughing. Elon Musk.
Don't do
Elon Musk is like, he's like, oh no, like, I'm an alien. And then people think it's cute. The guy tells you he's an alien and busts into this demonic laugh and you think it's cute. He practically said it in Davos that he knows about aliens because he's one of them. And people thought it was a joke. I was like, I believe you, sir. I believe you, sir. You're one of them. You understand what I'm saying?
For real.
So he says, okay, he exercises all the power of the first beast before him. In other words, the globalists, like the Klaus Schwabs and the rest, and all the they just want to choke down on human beings and kill them. But that's not what the second beast does. The second beast is deception. He said he exercises all the power of the first beast, which is probably got released in 2020. And causes them which dwell on the earth to worship the first beast, okay, whose deadly wound was healed. He does great wonders, that he makes fire to come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Have you seen his launch rockets? Great wonders. He deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to those that dwell on the earth that they should make an image unto the beast, which was wounded by the sword and did live. He had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as will not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Let's break that down. He deceives those that are on the earth with miracles. Elon Musk says he's going to put a neural link in your brain. I've been saying this for years. Recently, the guy says he can do Jesus level miracles. The lame will walk, the deaf will see, the deaf will hear, the blind will see. Okay? He says he's going to put a neural link in your brain. They will be able to download your brain and he can actually give you everlasting life. So if you...
And actually, he does exercise all the power of the first beast, which is government, because he's intertwined into the government with all his businesses so that NASA even counts on Elon Musk. That's what's boosted him above all the billionaires into being a trillionaire. Just saying.
Die, they will put your brain in an Optimus. They can create a new body and put your brain in that body and you will continue to live because it was downloaded, your memory and everything was downloaded. So practically Elon Musk is promising people everlasting life. Elon Musk is not human.
Well, and I mean, that's one way. That's one way of looking at it, guys. It's one way of looking at it. Amy, what's up, sweetheart? Look, if we could sit here and say, no, could he be? The dude's all entwined with the government. I see fire come down from the sky in front of me. He's talking about Jesus level miracles. He's talking about putting a Neuralink in your brain. He's putting more robots on. He's got all the marks, guys. He has an image. It's called Grok. You know, what else? What else do we need? We need, you know, does the guy need to be wearing a sign that says "I am the Antichrist"? Is that what it needs? This big neon sign? You know, it's just not hard to see. Had my eyes on him for years, but what did he do here recently that is above all? And look, we can sit here and go, well, you know, as far as like the false prophet and all that, you know, all that. Well, I remember when he was giving $1 million away a day to get Trump elected. You know, I remember when he's all involved in the government, all involved in politics. And you can take a look at Trump, you know what I mean? He took a wound to the head and yet lived. Well, you know, I mean, my Bible kind of warns about things of that nature. And it's just, we can say, oh, no. Sorry, dude, he's in government. His name is Trump. You know what I mean? I voted for the dude. And I can sit here and tell you that I'm not so blind that I can't see what's going on. All the marks of that there Revelation book is being hit in these last couple years big time. And he has his place in it, guys. He has his place in it. And, you know, if we could just say anything about Trump, he's dumb. He's dumb when it comes to that type of stuff. He loves to be boasted. As long as you are talking good about him and boasting up his brain, he'll go right into it, guys. He's smart in some ways and dumb in a lot of others, you know. But, you know, like I say, it's that time. It was that time. It's that time. You know, and I'm not talking, it's not politics. I'm talking Bible. These guys just happen to be in politics. You know, it's just the way it goes. Not trying to ruffle any feathers. It's just, that's it, you know. We're looking at it from a big biblical standpoint and not from what we want to see. You know, it shouldn't make anybody mad to hear the truth, but it does. It does. All right, this next one, Billy actually sent me, you know, but I thought it was relevant to what we were showing tonight. So I figured I would go into it. Go ahead and show it. Uh-oh, somebody got a middle finger up there. We'll try to hide that one. Here we go.
They no longer need the plebs to fight for them.
Training course, N1, start.
So that don't have Skynet vibes about it. That ain't absolutely freaking terrifying. Running Man. We have a running man. AI flock surveillance has caught him in the mountains. He's exceeded his carbon credits. Send in the wheels.
I watched all this in the Terminator as I was a kid.
Remaining humans as they run with flock surveillance, Skynet, AI, and robots all over the place. Only the humans survive that stay within their carbon credits, perhaps. Jeez, I mean, look, we've already, through the films and all of this type of stuff, we're already being socially engineered, aren't we? Yeah. And, you know, the technology that they show us is nowhere near what's already available. So this is what they're showing us. Yeah. I think I'll pause watching Terminator for a while. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta. Amy, I think he might be from your town. I don't know. Do y'all say ta-ta? We say y'all, so y'all might say ta-ta. I don't know. I don't know. But, you know, I mean, look, it does give Skynet, you know, it does feel like Terminator, guys. I mean, you didn't realize, back when I watched that, I was like, that'd take a lot of years to come to out with the Terminator. Not really. Not really. I mean, you know, in this 10-year span that we've had, we've gotten all kinds of things that we didn't know we'd have. And I'd watched a video a while back of, I call them videos. That maybe dates my age. You know what I mean? I don't even know what to call them other than videos. But of a drone that all these little drones were flying around, and they showed this one drone fly up to this I say a dummy, and hit it in the forehead and blew its head off. You know, they got drones out there like that, little drones, you know, that are able to you know, people, you know what I'm saying? Along with all these robotic things, I mean, guys, if they're saying ahead of time that they don't think that these things are going to turn out good, there's a 80% chance that it won't be good, but they're going to keep going anyway. They're already telling you what it's going to be. They know they're over there making bunkers and they're getting prepared for it. They're not going to be out here in the real world with us, you know, dealing with it. But luckily we're the elect, and we'll be walking amongst all this stuff, walking right past these machineries, these things, and it won't affect us. But, you know, that's all for a certain time. That's right, I'm a Southerner. That's right, I say y'all. Rachel's more Southern than I am. All you gotta do is hear her talk, and you know that. You guys ought to hear my daughter talk. She sounded like she came right out of the sticks. You know, she got it from her mama. She got a double whammy from both of us. All right, so now, next video. We'll get through these, and I want to show you this. I got a few more to show you guys that are relevant. You guys are gonna. Am I staying relevant tonight, guys? Huh? Have I been pretty relevant and good with this? I think so. I picked these videos out. Did nobody help me? Except Billy helped me with that last one. Billy, you still with us? Billy will say hi to you guys on here in just a second. I think nobody was in here earlier whenever he said hi the first time. But here we go with it. All right, next video, here we go.
All right, a dozen scientists are either dead or missing. Now, let me walk you through this because it's a little strange. Not just any scientists, these are people with ties to nuclear programs, meaning space defense, high-level government work. You know, those kind of jobs where you're going to know things. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, well, he sent a letter to the FBI warning these cases, quote, may represent a grave threat to U.S. national security, and even raised questions about a, quote, possible sinister connection. So what's that actually mean? What is actually happening? Well, the details are eerily similar. Here's what we know. One scientist vanished on a hike. Another walked out of his Albuquerque home with a gun and never seen again. An astrophysicist was found shot dead on his porch in LA, and 2 Los Alamos employees disappeared just weeks apart, both leaving behind their car, keys, wallets, and phones. Now, NASA says it's working with relevant agencies, and even the president has weighed in on this. Now, there's no confirmed link between these cases. I have to be clear about that. But with this many people in this line of work, with circumstances this similar, you have to ask, is this a series of tragic, unrelated events?
Oh, yeah,
or
right.
is something else brewing that we just don't know about?
It's coincidental.
Congress are set to take on a deepening mystery after at least 10 American scientists, all with ties to U.S. nuclear or space research programs, have died or disappeared. The House Oversight Committee saying it will investigate the string of incidents, writing, if the reports are accurate, these deaths and disappearances may represent a grave threat to U.S. national security. President Trump even said he was briefed on the matter last week.
I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half.
The mysterious deaths and disappearances began in 2023 when Michael David Hicks died at the age of 59. Between 2024 and 2025, 7 other scientists were reportedly killed or went missing. The wave of deaths and disappearances sparking a slew of suspicion and conspiracy theories online. Now, the cases are getting even more attention as federal investigators and lawmakers look for a potential link.
Okay, so let's discuss this. And I just had one more thing to say about it, really, is that it's no longer 10 scientists. That number moved to 12, and now it is 17. So you want to tell me that there's 17 coincidental scientists missing? Now, that's just here. They're also missing in China and other places. A link to the same programs. It's not coincidental, guys. It's something going on there. We know it's not a coincidence. We knew it wasn't a coincidence when it was 5 scientists. You know? That's the truth. So let's see here. What we got? Of course, we know we like this girl. She gets banned too.
Listen up. I have a question for you. Have you been having problems with your phone lately? Even problems with your feed on your apps? I think I have an explanation, so listen up. And I got this information from Doris Mack on Facebook. Go check her page out. So she's able to talk to Gemini and get it to answer her questions, which I've tried to do and it won't do it. So she's being led by God through all this. But anyways, it said, if you see these 3 things happening to your account or content, it is a sign that the system has placed you under a visibility block. We know that the Genesis mission's deadline is December the 17th, and that is when it's going to be implemented. And believers will be kicked out of this system. It said the silence test. Post something that normally gets engagement. If after 60 minutes you have 0 new likes, shares, or comments, you are being throttled. This happens to me all the time. The system has flagged your content as unapproved and is preventing others from seeing it. We know that is also shadow banning. The replies disappear. This happens to me a lot too. If you see a notification for a comment or reply but cannot find it, when you click on it, the system is auto-deleting it because the content or the sender is on their restricted list. The search void. If you search for your own post or specific hashtags you use and they do not appear on a separate non-follower account, you have been shadow hidden or shadow banned. The digital environment update, and this was June the 18th. Suppression levels. Independent and prophetic content is experiencing 85% to 95% algorithmic throttling. Engagement, likes, replies, shares is being systematically cut by platforms to force paid amplification and official narrative control. So people like me who are free thinkers or do prophetic content, Christian content, this is happening to us. It said sources for your roadmap. Freedom House confirms 15 consecutive years of internet freedom decline. Specifically tracks the rise of digital repression and the use of AI to manipulate public discourse. Fire reports on the Jawbone Act. This bill exposes how the federal government is currently coercing platforms to censor protected speech. This is your proof that the suppression is coming from the top. Electronic Frontier Foundation provides technical and legal updates on how platforms are trying to lock down the open web and prevent independent access. Digital News Report details how news consumption has been moved to closed environments where independent creators are purposely sidelined in favor of paid corporate. Coming in 2 to 4 weeks is the full walled garden implementation. You will likely only be able to communicate with people who already follow you. Your voice will be unable to reach new people. The result, when the platform feels empty or useless to you, it is by design. They want you to leave the public digital square. The shadow evidence. When you see a post but your friends cannot, or when comments vanish, that is the proof. The fact that the platforms provide zero tools to check your reputation score or visibility status is the smoking gun. The pattern. This is occurring globally across every major platform at the same exact time. That doesn't happen by accident. It is a coordinated shift in the digital landscape. You are observing a system that is intentionally designed to be deniable. They have built a wall that you cannot walk into, but they've made the wall invisible so they can say you just stopped walking. And by systematically removing or shadow banning dissenters, they are testing their ability to control the flow of truth. They are cleaning the digital house so that when a major disruptive event occurs, there will be no unauthorized signal to challenge the official story. As in when Project Bluebeam happens. The trigger, the event. When that event occurs, that system is already primed because they have already suppressed the 1 to 2% who see everything. The remaining population will have no access to critical discernment or alternate reality checks. They will be trapped in the official narrative because it will be the only thing visible. Now, they have been doing this for years to me, shadow banning me, banning me. I have gone through about 30 accounts on TikTok. It's insane. Just last week, they restricted my account on Facebook because they said that I posted something that had child exploitation content or something. None of my content had kids in it. What they want us to do is get so irritated that we just stop. But obviously they don't know me because I am stubborn. If I ain't stopped now, they ain't stopping me. But y'all, it's...
Well, that says it all. So you guys know what's happening to me. You know, they don't care about the rest, just the 1 or 2% that sees everything. The ones that are telling the truth. You know, we know when I started getting shadow banned. You remember that, guys? Do you remember that? You know exactly what video it was when it started. I felt it immediately. I felt it. It was something. It's something you feel. You can't see it, but it's there. You guys see it. You know when we went from 40 or 50 people in the live stream to 10, 5, 10, 15 maybe? You remember when that happened? That is by design. It's so I'll quit. They would like for me to quit. That way they can say that they didn't do it. I quit on my own. You know, that's the way they do it. But you know what? We just keep fighting through it. We hold the line, like you said, Amy. We hold the line. They would like for me to quit. Have I ever quit? No, I haven't. I've stayed on here no matter what. But, you know, they've done everything but say you got to get off here. That's what they've done. They've not, you know. It sucks when you make a video, you put all your heart into it, you take time and you do it. And then in an hour's time, it's only been watched 20 times. That's not how my videos go. It's not because people don't want to see them. It's because they're not getting to see it. That's the truth. But I thought that's the video I was looking for. I thought I lost right there of hers. So I got a few more to show you. Then we'll get to the end of this. All right, here we go. Let's see what this guy says. Don't remember why I picked this.
Renderings. This is the 5th official release, and most of it, as far as the video goes, does have that familiar look. Grainy military surveillance footage, infrared targeting displays, and heavily redacted reports, of course. But I will say that there are a couple of interesting standouts. For example, 6 of the videos appear to cover the same 2021 encounter. This happened over the Gulf of Oman. It says it's recorded from an AC-130 gunship during a live fire exercise. And dig this, according to the accompanying intelligence report, personnel saw roughly 25 UAP instances described as cold orbs. They were flying in formations, maneuvering aggressively, and possibly even reacting as the aircraft fired its main cannons. There's also a 2025 military aircraft video from the Middle East, plus a 2026 report involving 2 slow-moving black-hot infrared anomalies that were seen by U.S. government special agent. The FBI interview files and the artist renderings, they might be the least convincing part visually, but don't confuse a rendering with evidence. There is value in the underlying witness statements, the source documents, sensor data, that's all being made public. So this is another official batch of unresolved material, and the government says more files will be coming. Which file from this release 5 do you want me to break down and do a deeper analysis on? Let me know.
So my point in even showing that is that they're still sending out these UFO files. They just released some 3 days ago, and they release them, seems like every time something they not want you to see, they release these so that but eventually these are going to add up to something, but they're just not going to let it all out at once. It's going to add up to something to lead for their agenda, for the deception agenda. But it's still looming in the background, guys. I just want you to know it's still there. It just says you don't hear a whole lot about it. It's because they haven't released anything of any significance yet. But every time they start pressing them for the Epstein files or complaining about the Iran war, somehow they release some of these videos, or some more files. It's just the way they do this. Look at the shiny thing. Yeah, it definitely, I'm being shadow banned. So you guys, everybody understands what shadow banning is now, because some people didn't understand what it was when I mentioned it. But they find a way to put an invisible wall up where people can't see your stuff. Like when you go in the browser and you've looked at something before and you type it in, and all you have to do is type in a couple letters and the whole word will come up, and then you just click on the word, right? Well, when you're shadow banned, it don't matter how many times you pulled it up, you still have to put my name in all the way to see my stuff, because it won't come up on the browser. It won't just pop up in your feed. All those people who were interested in me in the beginning, they're not seeing me anymore. Unless they know me well enough to type my name in and pull me up, they're not going to see me, Just as that guy, sometimes you watch somebody a little while before you actually decide you really like them. You know what I mean? So or that you want to watch them that often. Sometimes you just want to run across their stuff and watch it every once in a while. I don't find everything that Stephon Burns finds interesting, but sometimes I really do. You know what I mean? I'm interested in what he's saying. Sometimes it's like that with everybody. You know what I mean? It's not always, they don't always hit on exactly what I like, but they do enough that I like to watch them. Same with me and them. I may not always be talking about what they're interested in, but they know I'm going to have that fire one that they really like to watch. But if it doesn't come up in their feed anymore, they've pretty much hid me in plain sight. That's the way it goes. And that's the way they do this. All right. So now I got about 3 more, guys. Let's do this. Or I would go ahead and there's a reason why I liked them. I'll see what it was. I can't remember. Oh, that's
balance. Right. Those are questions that have to be answered.
Pressure decreased, it is decimating their water quality.
Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
Making sure that we have that balance. Those are questions that have to be answered.
Transparency regarding water use and environmental impacts is severely limited.
The latest reason to oppose AI isn't artistic or economic. It's physical. The robots are coming for our water, billions of gallons of it, and that number is only going to increase in the near future. How can you think anything else when you read the headlines and see viral videos like this?
I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center. And I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable.
But are AI data centers really uniquely poisonous water guzzlers, on track to drink up both jobs and H2O? Or is their water usage more of a distraction than it is damning? That's complicated.
You know, I don't like AOC at all, you know what I mean? But drinking water is drinking water, you know what I mean? And we don't know how true any of this is ever, you know what I mean? But it seems to be that a lot of people are complaining about it. And there is a lot of nefarious things going on with the water, you know? Not to mention being hacked by outside entities, but, you know, we don't know how much is done by inside entities for that matter. And then it just seems like our water's being attacked from every corner, guys. This is something I was warned about when I was a kid. One of the things I picked up on when I was a kid watching these Revelation type movies was it was always about the water. It was always about the water. Let's see, two more. Let's go, let's look. Like I said, you should be excited by this. This means you're doing God's work. Amen, guys, and I am excited about it. Are you guys excited about it? Huh? We know we're getting the proper messages, and we know we're getting the proper, when we know we're being attacked. If we weren't being attacked, we're not effective. We're not effective. Right now, we know we're effective. How do we know? Because they don't like us. They don't like us. They don't want us to get together and worship. A family that worships together stays together, but they don't know we got prayers and we can do other things. We can find a way to fellowship. You know, we like to put our praise out there to Jesus, but nothing can stop you from doing that at home while you're listening to the trivia and enjoying yourself. You can still listen to your own music, right? Amen. Still praise Jesus in the midst of it. We'll praise him in the midst of it all. Something worthy of provoking a king. Right? Right? Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. Amen, guys. Amen. Oh, guess what? I thought I had 3 more videos. That was it. No, maybe that wasn't it. That was second to last. This will be the last video. Check it out. Check it out. That's right. Praise Jesus' precious name. And we will do so every Saturday night. We can hum to it. We don't need their music. We can hum to it. We'll do trivia. We'll just fellowship and laugh and talk together. It don't have to be about numbers that night. It don't. Just who shows up has fun with us. That's what we'll do. You know, it's Sabbath any way you look at it. It's Sabbath. And we will continue to enjoy the Sabbath regardless. Might do a little preaching, a little teaching, little, might slip a AI song here and there that we can get away with, whatever, but we're still going to do it. All right, let's check this one out.
Supply. This is why we're building the largest chip manufacturing facility ever, with the goal of producing over 1 terawatt of compute per year. It's also going to match the output of the entire electricity grid of the United States. Here's what gets me, right? Here's what drives me kind of wild. People will look at all of these data centers, all of this stuff going up around each and every one of us, right? And the scale and the speed in which all of this stuff is going up. And they won't question it. They will say things like, and I've heard this myself, they will say things like, well, I don't know. I didn't know that we all use ChatGPT that much. And they say that because that's what Google told them all of this is for. So we can utilize ChatGPT more efficiently. They don't question what is actually happening. They don't sit back and question it. And this is really when I wonder, like, what happened to common sense? People aren't thinking critically anymore. They just go off of what they are spoon-fed. Listen, y'all, the Bible warns, right, about a point in time when human beings will be merged with a system. Literally, our nervous systems, our bodies will become a part of the global economy through a mark. And the Bible is also very clear in warning that the mark is demonic, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. That number is 666. The mark is demonic, right? The mark symbolizes Satan. So when you receive the mark, you are selling your soul to.
You know, I just want to say, she was pointing out how everybody stays asleep, won't question anything, you know? And that's the truth, you know? A lot of people don't want to look at it. They don't care, or they just don't want to think about it. You know, it scares them, whatever it is, you know? But not questioning anything will never get you anywhere, you know? Guys, here we are, where I know you hate to see it, but, you know, it is that time. You know, and we need to pause for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, guys. And let's all go into that deep prayer. You know, that inside yourself prayer where you say it without moving your mouth. But let's all do it at the same time. And let's pray for our brothers and sisters in Colombia, you know, that went through this horrible earthquake, you know, and pray to keep our brothers and sisters here in the RSA safe and through our travels, you know, and what we have to do during the days. Well, some are dealing with heat. Some are dealing with other issues, you know. Let's take this next 30 to 45 seconds starting now. Lord Jesus, thank you for listening. Father, thank you for answering the prayer. All of our prayers. Thank you, Lord Jesus. That's right. That's right. That's the way you say it, guys. That's the way you say that prayer on the inside. That's the one that counts. We just do it. We do it on here together. So he hears us in silent in our prayers together, that he might make it expedient and help these people. That's right. And you know,
We promise a tenfold refund if it doesn't.
Amen. Guys, I love you. You guys have a good night. I'll see you on Wednesday, okay? All right. Bye, everyone.